One of the questions that we get asked this time of year is, I would like to buy myself a game gun for the game season. And the obvious question that we ask then is, yes, so do you have any idea, do you want a side-by-side or do you want an over and under? Some people will say they've got to have an over and under, and other people will say, well, I've got an over and under, but I'm going to on one or two nice game shoots, so I'd like to be a little bit traditional. So I'm thinking about buying myself a side-by-side. Fine. Now, the next problem you have is, particularly if they've been shooting with an over and under, to find a side-by-side that they can actually shoot with. Side-by-sides, you have a hell of a range. You can pay £500 for a side-by-side. You can pay £50,000 for a side-by-side. Some of the finest side-by-sides in the world are made in England. You've got Purdue, you've got Bosch, you've got Holland & Holland. They are about as good as you're going to get. A new side that Purdue or Holland or Bosch at the moment will cost you about £100,000. It will be made to measure, and it will probably take you 2 years to get it because you have to order it. If you're going to be a little more realistic, the next thing we ask is, roughly what is your budget? And they will say, oh, £2,000-3,000, something like that. Now, the thing that you have to be a little bit wary of is when you're talking about side-by-sides, you have a thing called drop on the stock. Difference between that and that is a drop. Now, traditional English guns always had a lot of drop on them because if you're talking about that sort of price bracket, then this gun is going to be probably 50, maybe 100 years old. So they will be the old-fashioned measurements which have a lot of drop on them. Now, if you get somebody that's fairly, what we polite what to say here, fairly fat in the face, then they can probably get away with it. But if you get somebody that's tall and slim with high cheekbones, you will struggle to get them to shoot with a side-by-side. If you're going to treat yourself to a nice side-by-side, which is a nice thing to do, the other thing you have to do is learn to shoot with it. With a side-by-side, you can't ram the gun in the shoulder and push your head down on the gun. You've got to shoot it nicely. The gun has got to come to your head. You can't put the gun in the shoulder and ram your head down, it won't work. So if you're thinking of having a side-by-side, do by all means. It's a nice thing to have, but just bear in mind, you probably want to go out and shoot it a few times just to get used to the different way they shoot. A lot of people say, well, I did try a side-by-side, but I couldn't get on with the double trigger. We actually do have guns with single triggers. They're fairly rare, but we do actually have one or two side-by-sides with single triggers. Now again, back to comb height. On an English gun, if you're going to buy a nice English gun, £3,000, £4,000, £5,000, you've got to bear in mind that it will be, I'm going to call it an antique. You will not go and put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cartridges through it, and you will not be able to put heavy ammunition through it. So, if you're going to buy something for high days and holidays, maybe 2 or 3 nice shoots a year, and you want something nice, then that's fine. But shoot traditional English game cartridges through it. As soon as you start to put cannon shells through a light gun like that, they'll start to kick. So, change from over and under to side-by-side by all means, but just bear in mind it's a slightly different technique. It's nice to be traditional, but just bear in mind you've got to learn to shoot it. Generally, with an over and under, because they've got more height in the comb and they're a heavier gun, they tend to shoot. The problem is that we've developed the over and under in this country to the point where it's just become a killing machine. It is very, very effective. And that's why traditionally now more people shoot over and unders at game than side by sides. When I started 30 odd years ago, you wouldn't have dreamt of going on a nice pheasant shoot with an over and under. It would have been frowned upon. Now it is generally accepted that that is acceptable. But we still get people who want to be traditional. The thing that always impresses upon people is when you go game shooting, you're not there to kill 100 out of 100. Yeah, you go game shooting, you have a nice day out with nice people, you have nice food, and you shoot some pheasants. The whole ethos really of pheasant shooting is that you're not there to kill every single bird. It's nice to kill a really nice bird, boff, that's the one you'll remember. But the general average for game shooters is about 3 to 1. So if you shoot 3 cartridges, you can normally reckon that you'll hit 1 pheasant. Again, if you are limited on your budget and you want to spend a couple of £1,000, if you look at a Spanish gun, they are excellent value for money at the moment. They're very, very well made. The only things that your rare occasions had problems with was maybe the occasional firing pin or the occasional mainspring, which are very easily replaced. We sell a lot of AYAs at this time of year because of the value for money that they are. They will have 2 3/4 chambers. I always advise people shoot a nice little 2.5-inch game cartridge out of them, because the heavier the cartridge, the more recoil you'll get from the gun. So if you're a bit sensible, you shoot a nice, traditional English game cartridge out with side by side and it will shoot well. The best place, if you're thinking about buying a side by side, is go to a proper shooting school that also has side by sides available, so you can get A, the best possible advice, and B, you can go out and shoot with it and they can teach you to shoot with a side by side. It doesn't take long. It's just a very slightly different technique.
Give me an example of a place that meets those criteria. That'll be here.
That'll be here, yeah.